Hi, this is Christy at the West Regional Branch of the Mobile Public Library, here with some more hand lettering projects to help get you through the dog days of summer. Let's get started. So, to help us through these dog days of summer, we're going to do another cute, fun summer project. This one's going to say summertime, and then we're going to have a little watermelon. And that's going to be our color scheme. It's pinks and reds and greens. So we're going to start out with the melon color. You want to come in about to here to start. We're just doing a traditional brush font. But you want to do it fairly loose and really fairly large. Now we're going to bounce this just like we did in one of our last videos, okay? So when you bounce, you're starting out on different lines. So the S comes down, the U goes up. Now when we bring the U's tail down, we're going to drop it down below what would be that baseline, okay? Now we're going to come back up to go into our M. And then the M's going to be a little looser than normal, okay? I'll drop that down to match, all right? So let's go on back up into our next M. And don't worry if you have any little bobbles, we're going to cover those up. So swing this guy way down because we're going to turn into a flourish. All you have to do to make a flourish, turn it over like you're going to make a loop, make a circle, draw it down. You're going to come down at an angle and wind up swooshing back up, okay? So here we go, down and then back up. And that's a simple, easy flourish. Now you might notice that mine's just a touch shaky, but I told you we're going to fix that. We're going to do the ombre effect like we did in another video. So that means we're going to cover this up with some darker color, and that'll help us. So start your E right about here, swing up and press down, and you're going to go up into your R. Remember to get thick, drop it on down, so it comes down just a little bit below these guys and make a nice swoosh with its tail, okay? So now we have got summer. Before we move on to time, let's go ahead and work on that ombre. So we actually are going to a darker pink. The cap is deceptive. It looks light, but the color is actually dark, as you can see there, all right? You can start wherever you like on the letters to do the ombre. You can start up high, you can start in the middle. I tend to start maybe a little bit lower than the middle, right where they cross a lot of times. Now the trick is always trying to stay on top of the stroke that you've already made. So you have to go nice and slow and easy in order to not really get outside those lines. But it's okay if you do. You can always just backtrack, fill it in, smooth it out. It's all right. Okay. So try to keep that line thin as you come around. If you have to, do like I do and cheat and go back and keep color until you get it the way you want it. Alright. Now you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself when it comes to the ombre because you need to try to blend a little. So go back to the lighter color that you initially had. Start where the two meet and drag the darker color on up into the lighter color. It's not going to be seamless at all, but it'll help to smooth it out. And then you actually wind up with sort of 3 shades. All right, so let's go on to this U. I'm going to start right about here with it. Notice how, even though this is a dark pink, it makes that nice reddish pink whenever it's on top of this melon color. All right, swing back up. And again, don't get too far. So I like to stop every little bit and try to blend these. Because once the ink really dries and sets, it's harder to get it blended. And notice how we're getting that sort of 3-color effect, which is what you want. Gives depth and richness. All right, so make sure we go here. And your next M. All right, let's blend a little here. Now you can use the blender brush if you have one, like I showed you last time. The only problem with it is sometimes when you have this type of paper, it'll actually eat through because you have so many layers. And it also gives it sort of that smudged effect. So that's why a lot of times I avoid it unless I want a certain look to my project. And when you come into the flourish, you can do it any way you want. You can stop anywhere, or you can go ahead and finish off the flourish if you like. Just make it your own. I decided to go ahead and put the second layer to try to even it out for myself. Alright, so back to blending up here. And since we covered the whole flourish, you don't really have to try to blend, but you can if you like. Just gives it some richness there. Alright, and we're almost finished with our ombre, so let's do our E. Going up into your R. Remember, just half the stem there, then come across to this side. And again, when you go over it, that'll help sort of even things out for you. Alright, let's clean this up just a little. Okay, so we're finished with the top half. Now we're going to swap to some greens to do the word time. So again, we're just doing a regular bouncy font like this, brush font. So we're going to come down underneath the S, probably right between those two letters. Do a big giant T. And your I. You can kind of bounce this as little or as much as you like. Now we're going to come down and mimic this for time, so drag that on down a little, swirl it around, and then go into your E. Alright. And we have a little cleanup work to do, but that's okay. Just kind of straighten things out here and there and touch them up so that it's not so jagged. And it also helps if you slow down. I try to tell myself that. So take your time with these. Don't be in a big rush. Alright. Clean up this guy where he needs to be smoothed out. And that, and we're good. Okay, now to embellish time and make it a little more fun, we're going to take a light green, and I'm going to come just to the inside of the letters and make the same strokes just about, if you can imagine, if you could put the tip between this and the next stroke, that's how close you want it. Okay, so we're just going to go straight down, not really a thick or a thin line, just something to create almost like a shadow effect. So you want it to go straight and then hit the curve and stop. So on the M, I'm going to follow the stem there. And we're just going to kind of pick up the arch a little bit there. Same thing here. Pick up the arch and drag it down. Now we want to get the curve in here. And I actually like doing the outside of a little flourish. So drag that guy on around. And if you hiccup like I did, just clean it up a little bit. It's fine. Alright. Go for the E there and swoop in here. Now to add a little more pizzazz, we are going to make a slice of watermelon. So we're going to go over here and just draw like you're going to do a half circle. So there you go. Really super easy. You can make it as big or as little as you like. Do like me and just keep expanding it till you get it the way you want it. And color it in. And I don't like to color, I like to color really loosely because you don't want it too saturated, and we're about to go over it with our other color anyway. So they'll blend together. So there's the melon. Then I like to take that darker pink and kind of drag it through it a little bit so that you get some shading and not just sort of a blob of color on there. You can even do like we did for blending, And take your melon color and kind of just drag it back through it. And if you were to get that other color on here, just take it to the side on a scrap paper and do like this until it rubs off. It'll come back off and you'll get back to your original color. It's all fine. Okay, so now you've got lots of variation in your little watermelon slice. So now we want to take the green and do just like I told you here. Imagine that there's a tip's width between the pink and the green, because there's always that little white spot on the rind, right? And you see I didn't make a nice smooth stroke because I'm going to come back over it. Straighten that guy out. We don't really want perfection, we just want to have fun. So there you go. And then you can take and add some little darker green on it if you like kind of little stripes or squiggles, just to give it a little dimension. And of course, what's watermelon without seeds? So take your black, just make some little teardrop shapes in there. Right. So now you've got your little watermelon. And to finish off, we're going to make some little splashes. You need that juice from that watermelon. So again, make just sort of a little teardrop shape. And to add a little fun and whimsy, we're going to do that over here, only big splashes. So little teardrops. And then to make it a little bolder and richer, I like to add the dark pink as well. You can even do sort of an ombre effect on these if you like. Do the lower part of it. Alright, there is your watermelon summertime project. Thanks for watching and have a great day.